Well, Coach, a rare Monday for you guys. How'd the guys look bouncing back after that?
Surprisingly better than I thought.
Yeah.
We've been through two regional, rivalries, the way football is supposed to be played.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say we're recreating the old Southwest Conference, but it kind of has that feeling to it, and the kids know each other so well when you play Houston, so it brings the level up, and then they know each other so well playing Texas State. So I really thought we left so much on the field that I tried to get them when we break down just in our warm-up, just to start stretch. I just wanted to catch one kid not breaking down, because this week the culture pillars pound the fist, and I was fixing to not pound the fist, but I was going to give a pound the fist speech. Couldn't catch anybody. And we always go +1 off the field. We jog off the field. Everything we do, we're supposed to be +1. I hadn't reminded them that lately. Intentionally, I didn't remind them today in the meeting, because I was just hoping to catch somebody. I was going to give a pound the fist moment. Just didn't catch them. We're a mature football team that's played two good opponents that's going to make us way better when we get to Temple, if we've got anybody left standing by the time we get there, because we've got a very physical Army team this week, followed by a very physical Tennessee game.
Jeff, what's the outlook for Frank Harris after he got banged up a little bit Saturday?
Well, it'll be interesting to see. Those things they're worse the next day than they are in the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how that progresses this week.
Is he practicing today, or how do you handle that?
We'll see.
Is there any thought to being more conservative with him through the non-conference season and making sure he's fresh for the conference, or are all the games kind of equal in that sense?
It's football. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's just we're pretty smart with him all the time. I know it might not look that way to you at times, but we don't really like to run him a lot until later in the year. Most of his runs, if you'll notice, are pretty much him on his own. There'll be a quarterback draw maybe in a big moment. A lot of that stuff's just being Frank. So when he's already wired that way to begin with, you don't want to add more quarterback runs. And he's not known for sliding. So we had to protect him from himself, which I would imagine that's kind of the point of your question.
Jeff, what's
changed their offense since y'all played them last year? What kind of a challenge is that this year?
It's still unique. I would say it's coastal Carolina-like. They're heavy in the run. There's just a more spread out version of it. They're throwing the ball better and more efficiently, and they're getting better each week at doing it. Compared to week 1 to week 2, you can tell how much better they've gotten, and they'll get better. Week 3.
What's the overall status of your offensive line? I know losing Mackay is a big one, but did a few other guys get banged up there?
We had some guys that have been banged up
Yeah.
that you just kind of really didn't know about. Greg just luckily didn't just put me on the spot and ask me point blank about it like he usually does. So that's starting to show its head a little bit. But healthy teams don't win; tough teams do, and we got to have somebody step up. Just like we did in the second half. I have a feeling if I were to talk to y'all, we were gonna have a glass of sweet tea and just shoot the bull, kick it around after the radio show Wednesday night. And I said at halftime, what were you guys talking about? And I bet y'all were saying, we're done. Our right tackle's done, our quarterback's done, momentum's changed, Texas State's rolling right now. And our kids, man, there's just something about them. They always find a way to make a play. I've said it, we don't win every game, but we sure make them all interesting. It's gonna go down right to the end. You can just write it down.
Coach, as far as Friday's game with Army, does that make it special because San Antonio's known for military USA?
I agree. I mean, if you're a fan, it's a great schedule. If you're a coach, it's your AD trying to get you fired. I mean, you know what I mean? It's one of them kind of deals. And I've said this to y'all before because I know y'all get tired of my corny jokes. But at Gilmer, I was the AD, right? And the head football coach. So I made the schedule. And I always loaded it up. And I used to tease all the time that it was my AD trying to get me fired, knowing I was the AD. So I don't want y'all to think I was taking a shot at the compost there. That was not the point. But yeah, it's a cool event. Them coming here and what that means to our city. Every one of our special teams are named after the military. So our Rangers, our punt return team, our Navy SEALs or our punt team. Night Stalkers, kickoff, Delta, kickoff return. Our PAT defense, Hell on Wheels. Our extra point team, Green Berets. I mean, we try to pay as much tribute and honor to those men and women as possible for what they've done to our country, which ironically today, was 9/11, anniversary of that. And it's amazing that was 22 years ago.
Do you have a full prognosis on Makai at this point?
We do not. It's going to be significant. We just don't know how significant.
How'd you feel about the way Demetrius Allen and DeAndre Marshall played in the league?
They had moments, where you didn't even notice he was gone. But early, you could tell he was gone. We just had to catch up to the speed of the game. And a lot of that had to do with the way Texas State plays defense. We knew going into the game it was going to be a big play game where they were going to hit us for a lot of negatives and we were going to hit them for a lot of big ones. There wasn't going to be. I was very proud of our short yardage situations, how many times we executed, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. That was a big plus for us.
Jeff, how would you evaluate your defense's performance in week 2 looking back?
Again, we give up the dadgum drive right before halftime. And then the drive we had to stop them, we actually did this time. Where last week on the drive we had to stop them, we didn't. But they're playing unbelievable. That is where it's a little misnomer because our offense is not scoring points. We are getting a lot of first downs. We are moving the ball. We're keeping our defense on the sideline. So we're just playing a different style right now until we kind of get some of the, get us lubed up a little bit better. And we're getting better. We're getting closer. The injuries make you come back just a little bit, but we'll keep grinding and figure this thing out.
Trey Moore had a big game, lots of sacks. He's on pace to break his own record, it looks like. What did you see out of him in these first two weeks? It looks like he's ready to roll.
Just great effort. I mean, the kid gives effort at all times. I mean, he's a machine. He's just a tough kid. He's got one. Last week, the coach was perfect effort, and that's Trey Moore.
You've mentioned that Demetrius Allen's been a little bit limited injury-wise. Is he close to being able to play a full complement of snaps?
I don't think so. I think he's still going to be a spot play guy. That ACL injury from last year this is the week it happened, I believe, Texas week, or close to when it happened. So he's such a good human. He's a good, I always call him good boy. He's a good young man. And he was balling in the game because he couldn't play as much as he wanted to. So I would expect him to, about like he's been doing, spot play 25 snaps.
So where's DeAndre in his development? How confident are you in him and his ability?
Really proud of him. He had the one bad play, that got poor Eddie Lee just crushed. Poor Eddie, he couldn't catch a break, man. Every time we went out there, we had him in a terrible situation. We got a good screen called for him, and they just mugged our receiver, which is a legal play because the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage, which did a good job picking him off. But DeAndre played well. He's going to be a really good football player. He's just young. He's a redshirt freshman, but really progressing well. That's where the injury to Ben Rios hurts because, Ben would have been out there as well, and now it set him back.
Are there other guys outside of Meach and DeAndre you could consider for the right tackle spot?
What you gonna be doing Friday night at 6? You'll be the first one to know. I know you'll be Hawkeye in that thing, Brother Greg. So we'll see who's gonna play right tackle. We're really still deciding. I'm being a little coy, but at the same time, we're still deciding because we don't know about the injuries of the other guys. Because they're getting MRIs and X-rays again today just to double check, and then we'll start putting together what we think the lineup might be. It's very similar to last year again, so I don't know what that is.
Jeff, what was your evaluation of the special teams unit overall? It seemed like you guys cleaned some things up a little.
Yeah, we're excited about that. That was a really good week for us. We weren't that far off last week. Yeah. Just our skilled kids. Yeah. I've told you, I've never had that happen before, but it happened. But they all bounced back. And it does not surprise me. Those 2 field goals by Chase were big. Yeah. And he had one extra point that was tough. And he had to make a nice little play on that, which was perfect. His grandmother passed away last week. And it couldn't have happened at a better time for Chase. And he was going to kick against Houston. And he freaking hurt his back during the week. I told him only reporters and coaches want to hurt their back in game week, not athletes, right?
Where's JT in his process? I know we saw him play one snap in this game.
His mind is what's way better. and he hates wearing that brace, and it just bothers him to no end. But we're going to keep him in that thing. I'd say it's a game time decision again. And I know you are thinking he's just bullcorning us, but he looked really good in pregame. And he looked good today at practice. Today is he got more reps today than he has been getting. So I don't know. I'm praying hard about that one. I want him to do what's right by that kid, but at the same time, I don't want to be holding him back if he's ready to go.
You said he kind of got himself in there for the one snap. How did that sort of play out?
Yeah, I imagine he went through Coach Price. It was probably a dual tandem there. I just looked up. Caused quite a ruckus in the old Traylor household. Care Bear never asked about anything, and she gets in the car and she wants to know when DeCorey and John Thomas is going to play more. I said, well, Care Bear, he played one snap. She said, no, he didn't. He played way more than that. I know he's out there. I'm like, no. So we got a couple of number ones on the team. You might have seen Trey Moore out there on defense, but no, at some point in the first half, they called his name. I said, yeah, he was a captain. You might have heard it in coin toss. But so then she's got me doubting myself, right? I'm thinking, I wonder if Joe Price has like snuck him out there and I didn't know. So I called Joe Willie on the phone. I'm like, Joe Willie, speakerphone. I said, Care Bear and I knocked down drag out right now. She's saying John Thomas was out there in the first half. And Joe Willie's like, he only played one snap, Coach. I'm like, I thought that was the only play you stuck him out there on. I just wanted to make sure you weren't sneaking him out there more. So, yeah, Care Bear she'll never admit it, but she was wrong.
So the Friday night game, is it, you have one less day to prepare, I guess?
I hate them. One, I'm a Texas high school football coach, right? And two, they're not going to come watch us play. I guarantee you we're going to have 49,000 that Friday night. They're going to be watching Larry Hill at Smithson Valley. They're going to be watching Cibolo. And they're going to be watching who they should be. They're San Antonio teams, right? So they're going to be watching Ron Ritterman. I mean, they're not going to be coming to watch San Antonio Reagan. I don't blame them. They'll be watching us on their phone. And we'll be in the Alamo Dome with not as many fans as we had last week. Now, I hope there's 49,000 back there again, but we're not counting on it.
Jeff, overall evaluation of your offense so far this season, it looked like it's getting closer to where you want it to be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm frustrated too. Y'all know me. I mean, I don't like playing the way we're playing. It's just the right way to play right now. So I'd give us maybe a C-. We've done enough to win 2 games, and because our defense is so good.
Yeah.
If we punt and kick the ball correctly in the first game, I still think we do enough in that one. We're very Baltimore Ravens-like right now, and y'all know me. I'd rather be like what the Rams and the Chiefs were when they were hitting it in their day, or the Cowboys last night. I know JJ's fired up about that. That's all I'll be hearing about all week. Who that won though? Who that?
Yep.
Jordan Traylor gave him a win. Anything else, man?
That's it.